I've built in a lot of different styles around my hardcore world, but the one category that I tend to stay away from is terraforming. I don't know, something about terraforming for me has never made much sense, so it's time someone knocks some sense into me. So today's plan is to create some new frozen peaks atop the hillside village, build a cute little log cabin nestled in the frozen peaks, and landscape a little bit of a hiking trail up the new mountainside. So right over here on our hillside village, this is going to be our first little test subject for our new terraforming style that we're going to apply to the entirety of the valley. Now, don't get me wrong, the Minecraft terraforming actually kind of popped off with the seed, but the reason we're even doing some terraforming is because I eventually want to terraform this mountain over here as well, this giant behemoth, because there's one issue with this mountain is that it's not tall enough. Minecraft has this thing where it cuts off the world, like the world generation at a certain height level, and specifically it's 255 blocks tall, which is like kind of awkward because look at the flat top on this mountain here. It's pretty freaking ugly. I think it'd be way cooler to be able to make this a lot taller of a mountain and also to make it a little bit prettier as well, because there's some rough parts on the terrain, but we need to focus on this big fat flat mountain over here first. Now, all this is going to take a lot of effort and a lot of resource grinding to get ready for. I got to clear out a lot of this terrain as well, but I kind of want to get a little bit sidetracked before we get into this. So Minecraft recently released a new Mountains of Mayhem game drop, and I wanted to explore what the new update had to offer for me. So using the train system, I headed over to the mining desert to grab ourselves some new friends. All right, so here we are at the closest coral biome, and actually I'm going to be visiting this a little bit later to get some more coral blocks for the build later, but we got to find ourselves a nautilus, and I'm hoping we can find a nice and cool looking zombie nautilus. I actually don't know how the zombie nautilus mechanics work. Well, it might need to be nighttime for them to spawn, but maybe we can just get a normal nautilus right now. Oh, and speak of the devil, there's our first little nautilus. Oh my god, he's so cute. Okay, I also know that we need to get a bucket of puffer fish for this. Hi. Got him. Finally. Hello, Mr. Nautilus. Come here. I have puffer fish for you. Boom. Oh, first love. Okay, so and then I get the status effect breath of the Nautilus. Oh, I didn't bring any saddles. Oh, I'm a noob. All right, buddy, stay here. I'm gonna go find a freaking saddle. Oh, wait. Dude, you can craft them now. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. Oh, that's actually so hype. Okay, so I just need to find myself like a cow, or I can also just go to the nether and go to my gold farm. Wow, I never thought in my Minecraft career I could craft saddles. That is freaking awesome. All right, we're back at the coral biome, and I should be able to find my guy right where I left him. Let's go. All right, here you go, buddy. Boop. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think you can just fly around with this guy in the water, which makes building underwater very easy, which actually, oh, there's another one, which kind of makes me want to build underwater in the future. I think that could be really fun. We should just tame this guy too. Why not? Hello, buddy. Oh, you're playing hard to get. Okay, I see. So we can also dash with this guy if we just fully charge it up. Well, that's a good dash. But I won't lie, the boosting around is really fun. Okay, here's a bunch of puffer fish right here. Let's grab you. And I also think the dash here can deal damage too, right? Let's try it on this squid over here. Here, buddy, you're toast. Wait, no? No damage? Dang it. Still really freaking cool. All right, buddy, come here. Hello. Let's go. Now that I've got new friends, it's time to kidnap them. Now, let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any name suggestions for these nautili, because I want you guys to come up with a name. Thank you. Anyways, most of the ocean connected up to the rivers and actually perfectly connected all the way back up to the valley, minus a few hiccups, but finally I brought him to Fishtown. I got a little bit impatient and I decided to bring over these two Nautilus guys. As you guys saw in the little transition over here, there was a little bit of digging I had to do all along this riverside here. Here's the big old fancy map here. I had to dig out a few little tunnels for our good old Nautilus to go for all the way from the ocean up here. This is where we were, and I had to travel all the way down here. All right, now the next thing I want to do with 1.21.11, the freaking Mountains of Mayhem update, I want to make a spear. Maybe we can upgrade it to netherite. I don't think I have any netherite to my name. Yeah, let's make a spear. Let's do a little bit of enchanting, and then we can start working on the actual build for today's episode. All right, let's just hitch up Mueller right here. There you go, buddy. And we can hop over to our enchantment building, which I made this very early on into our series. And I don't think I've used this building really much since, but look at this. I think I have some lapis in here, very much so. And let's craft up a... No crafting tables in here, seriously? Let's craft up a spear, and you craft it pretty easily, just like how you'd think, honestly, like that. And I don't think I have any netherite scrap. Yeah, I only have 3. Dang, I'm 1 short. Ugh, bruh. All right, before we enchant this thing, I want to kind of explore how it works real quick. So there's a hold function. Oh, no, there's a jab, which is like a normal attack. And I think it has a minimum range as well, so it can only deal damage like a certain amount of blocks away, which is pretty cool. It's pretty unique as well. And then if we right click, I think that's how we hold it, and then we can like charge with this, and that's how it deals damage. And I guess there's like certain states of it and stuff too. Like now it's lowered and I'm like tired or something. Pretty cool. All right, anyways, let's enchant this. Knockback on it. Sure. Ooh, lunge 3, knockback 2, and breaking 3. Okay, that sounds okay. How does lunge work? If I jab, I get launched? Wait. Whoa! Whoa! Wait, that's so cool. What the heck? Wait, there's some crazy movement tech you could do with this probably. What? Wait, that's so cool. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that's a lot of fun. But all right, that's pretty fun. I think I'm going to actually keep this inside our inventory, and we can put this one in there for right now. And I don't need to break that because that one stays here. All right, enough messing around. Let's head over to the mountain range. All right, so the first thing I want to do with our mountain range here is actually start clearing out some of the terrain that we're going to be modifying. I think I need to clear out a lot of the dirt here on this side of the mountain. Probably clear up a bunch of the snow up here too, and maybe even like some of this peak right here and some of the slopes over here. There's a lot I need to clean up to make sure that is all good and ready for us to start placing the blocks, and maybe we get a few of the resources we need to for the mountain. But I think we just got to get started on it. And before we get too antsy here, I want to go to sleep. You know, kind of just like running around the village right here too. I think we could also get away with doing a few more houses. We'll see how much time and how ambitious I'm feeling. But as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy some digging. All right, we have gathered all of the resources we are going to need for our mountain building project. This is just the terraforming, and honestly, it's not too bad. I think the worst part was, you know, getting all the coral stuff, a little bit of fire coral as well, but a lot of like random blocks along here as well. I need to grab a few of my stone shulkers. I forgot to grab those. But good handful of flowers as well, because we're going to be expanding a little bit of the, you know, the flower fields out here into this little patch of grass. Do a little bit of extra terraforming down there as well. But you can see I've torn out a lot of the natural terrain. We did that on a live stream earlier in the week. So if you're interested in catching those in the future, make sure to join the Discord, which is on screen right now, discord.gg/barce, and make sure to get subscribed to the YouTube channel as well. I've also been multi-streaming from now on, so I'll be a little bit more active on my Twitch as well, which if you're interested in that is twitch.tv/WTBarce. Link is in the description. All right, sorry about the shameless plugging. You know, I gotta do it. But yeah, I think the first thing we're gonna work on is the terrain right over here. Gonna be kind of winding up the hill. This will be a ski slope right here. I think we need to clean up a little bit more of the terrain with some snow and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to finally get working on this build. There's lots of blocks going into this, and I think it's a very pretty mountain, and I'm excited to show it to you guys. So anyways, as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the montage. Alright, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update on the build so far, because look how much better this hillside looks right here. The fact that there's not just a bunch of brown looking dirt all over the place on the side of this hill and like that ugly cave that was kind of cut out right there, this just looks amazing. And I think the shading on this also kind of popped off. Low-key, I popped off. And also the addition of the trees down here and a little bit of extra flowers on the edge of the mountain here. It all just makes this look so much more cohesive with the beautiful flower field here and all that too. So let's do a little flyover, and I can go over some of the texturing as well, because look at the depth on this thing. And also the moss on this side. Hello, I love this touch. Just adding a little bit of green overhang before we get, you know, kind of consumed with all the white snow up here. So the texturing is pretty simple. It's nothing too crazy. We go from mud up to deep slate and then into the pale wood here, then to acacia, tough, and then this is the brain coral, I remember correctly. And then we go into andesite, stone, and then we get to the lighter colors up there. We get a little bit of that light gray wool, light gray concrete powder, and actually a little bit of diorite at the snow layer there, because I think it blends super well between the stone and the snow there. And it creates a nice little, like, kind of frosty overhang, like maybe there's a little bit of frost or ice kind of building up on the sides of the cliffs here. And I think from a distance, it looks really good. It's such like a beautiful little transition into the white snow there. Like, look at this from a distance here. It just looks kind of frosty on this top layer. I think it looks, oh, it looks so nice. Also, this is a pretty good angle just to see all of the trees right here too, and all the flower beds and everything. This town is coming together very well. I'm super happy with it. I think I want to make a little bit of a lodge somewhere along the mountain here. It might end up being in this spot right here, who knows. But anyways, I think it's time to actually work on the big mountains. This will be the eye candy for today's episode. I'm very excited to finally get working on these. So let's just jump back into the montage and let's get some work done. I've placed a few extra 1,000 blocks, but now our mountain range is complete. And I just gotta say, this was such a massive upgrade. This looks so much prettier than before, and I am in love with the texturing that I did on these mountains. Also, the shaping of these mountains too. This took a lot of time in Axiom to really figure out and get how I wanted it to look and everything. You know, I still want it to be like kind of snow covered and feel kind of frosty. Actually, let me raise the cloud height real quick. All right, I don't think that really did anything. I tried fixing it. But oh my god, right, look at this right here. The blue sky is doing such wonderful work with this mountain range. It has such a beautiful little contrast. And I love the little trail leading up the side here, and this big old cliff side here is just so, oh, it's so nice. I'm in love with this. Let's go over the blocks I use though, because I think a lot of the aesthetic of this and how it looks so awesome is the block choices we use. We use a lot of shading. And before we get really into the blocks, I want to give a little shout out to my friend right here, the snowman. He's the reason why I have all these snow blocks. I kind of, when I was digging out a lot of this terrain underneath this mountain, which by the way, is a giant freaking mob spawner in some of the areas. And also, frick all this powdered snow, man. It's actually insane. But anyways, this entire area, shout out to the snowman here. And maybe I should take off your little pumpkin there. What? Wait, can I give it back to you? I'm sorry. I didn't realize you'd be sad about that. Now, it's not all just those blocks in the mountain. We also have some hints of these kind of lighter tan colors here, which is where we also use the fire coral, because that's a little bit closer from like the stony kind of texture into these more tan blocks. So this is a nice little transition block here. We use a lot of dripstone, light gray terracotta, and actually we use some iron ore as well. I think the iron ore does a great job of blending between the stone as well. Kind of the same purpose as the fire coral here, but it looks so good. It adds a little bit more interest into the entirety of the mountain. Doesn't make it all look very monotonous and very stony. It add some unique colors. And also there's a few other spots we use some darker tones as well. Yeah, as you can see over here, we have also that little hint of the tan, but we also have some darker texturing here with some iron, deep slate iron ore, excuse me, and some basalt and some cyan terracotta. I think it's always nice to just kind of mix up the mountains, not leave it all very samey. It's nice to add in a little bit of color. And this is a great spot to see all the different little spots we use to add a little bit of color. There's some right there, there's some right here in front of me, there's some all the way over there, and obviously at that little tiny little half wall that's right there that you can't see where we're at right now. But this is actually our transition into our next part of the build right here in this little square I left uncarved. We're gonna add a little log cabin here because when I was designing this on a live stream, there was one chatter who really wanted me to add a log cabin into the into the hillside here, and I budged. All right, he was really getting on my nerves. No, I'm kidding, but it's a really good idea. So I wanted to add in a cool little log cabin here with maybe like a little fishing spot or something. I thought that would be a neat little detail. So we add like a little ice pond right here, doing some ice fishing up on the hill here. And then I still want to add in a functional ski lift somewhere around here. And I'm trying to figure out where it's going to go because this mountain is very high up and I kind of want it to be practical with the town somewhere here. So we need to find somewhere in the town where it makes sense to have the ski lift start, and then have somewhere up here where it makes sense for it to end as well. The main slope we kind of have is over here on this side. It kind of has a natural way of going down. I think I need to fix up some of the stone right here on this cliff side here as well. But yeah, we'll figure out where we're gonna put a ski lift. I want to make it functional with a minecart and a little boat with a pig in it and everything. I think that'd be really fun. So it's going to take a little bit of finagling, but I think we can get it done. So let's jump into working on that log cabin first, and then we'll come back, do a little bit of interior over there, and then maybe we work on a ski lift and maybe fix up this path right here and make it look a whole lot prettier to walk through. Hello everyone, I'm back from my hiatus. Oh my god. All right, a hiatus from recording, I should say, because it has been literally almost a full month since I've last recorded the first clip of this episode. It's been a brutal month, might I say. I've just gotten over my case of COVID. Yeah, COVID in 2026, what the hell. But we finished the log cabin up there and it looks so cute. The chimney, yeah, the fact I'm able to see the particles from up here too. Okay, just a little bit of life up there, you know. Yeah, this mountainside is really coming together, and I think this little log cabin up here does quite a lot. Let's go over some of the little designs up here and everything. Look, we have our fishing, our ice little fishing thing here with this little post or something, you know, like a little fishing line that's set up. And then we have our log cabin with no interior, which I do want to make a little quick interior for, quick and dirty. But I did mention in the clip before the log cabin here that I was wanting to do a whole, you know, like a lodge. Sorry, there's a zombie freaking screaming underground right now. Can you wait your turn? A lodge. I wanted to build a lodge somewhere up here, but I think we're going to save that for another time because, simply put, I want to get this video done. And also, I think, you know, we're eventually going to be terraforming a lot more of these mountains around here, and I want to make more room and a bit more of an intentional area for said ski lodge. So we'll save it probably for somewhere over on that side over yonder in the future. And same with the ski lift, you know, we'll build those two in tandem together. But the rest of the episode, I want to do one last thing, which is to make this trail right here look way prettier. Rest in peace, snowman, by the way. But yeah, I think this trail right here could be really sick to get up and looking nice and cool. Maybe we get a few more trees in there or something. We just gotta make the forest bed here, you know, around all the grass and everything feel a lot more full. And I think that will make it look a lot more complete. All right, but let's go grab some shulkers so we can begin working on the interior of that log cabin. All right, here we are in front of Sean's shack. That is the chatter who was really, really pressuring me to make a log cabin. Alas, I have. Congratulations, Sean. But I made a little shulker here, just grabbed a few little things. The first thing I want to do is I want to make a little divider wall here for the bedroom. And I think we're just going to do something nice and simple like this. And kind of just do a nice little dividing wall with the shelf block here. I think just on the bottom, because then we're going to do trapdoors for the rest. I like how that looks. Oh, yeah, I also have a few other shulkers for some random stuff around town that I need to clean up, but we're going to do a little bit of that, and that looks pretty good. And I grabbed some brown banners here because I think I want to also try to kind of cover this up a bit with some like tarp to make it kind of seem like, you know, there's like some privacy shades here of some sort. The issue is I don't know how we can, I guess I could do something like this, right? I don't really love that. Oh, wait, can I hang this off of a sign? Oh, yes, I can. Perfect. Okay, so we have the private room here, the private domicile. We'll make this bed green. Yes. Perfect. Originally, I mentioned I want to do a loft, but I think I want to make this an attic, which means that's going to give us some room for a roof. And I'm going to do a nice and simple, we're going to just come across here with some logs, and then we're gonna do dark oak slags in the middle. Dude, I can't speak right now. I'm sorry. I'm sick, guys. Please stop making fun of me. Instead, we could do trapdoor. Trapdoor. Boop. Okay, yeah, that works a little bit better. All right, and then right here in the middle, I want to make this into our little carpet, which is why I have this mangrove and fire coral on me. Can I put? Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, because I put the shelves on the inside there. Perfect. So quick little infinite water source right here. Put down our mangrove slabs and fire coral on top. It's a nice and fluffy carpet. You know, it's cold up here, so they gotta, the person who lives in this cabin gotta get warm somehow. Then I think over here on this wall, this could be our kitchen, which if we place this crafter not like that, can we place him backwards like this? Oh, perfect. Then we can get a cool looking like metal shelf little section right here, which I think works really well with the beehives right here. Jeez, man, I apologize again. And then over here, I'm gonna make another little simple little shelf system. This could maybe be like the like a butcher table or something where he preps some of his fish. And then this could be where he cooks it all. Then up above here, we could do a little shelf, and we're gonna do it with a barrel and just a chest like so. And I like using these, fence gates as a shelf. I think they look kind of cool instead of just doing like the trapdoors every time. But we also could use some regular oak shelves as real shelves right here. We could put some items in there. Although I think I actually want to not do that. Let's actually put a crafting table down right there, and let's craft up some oak signs to place along right here. Then we're gonna throw a flower pot right here, a little item frame. Maybe we try to throw a fish in there. Do I have any like fish on me? Oh, I do. Dude, yes, raw cod. Awesome. Then let's put a dead bush inside this flower pot. Maybe this guy doesn't take very good care of the plants in this area. And a lot of these bushes are dead and dried up and everything. So I think that works pretty well. And this house could use a little bit of lighting, so we could throw a candle or two right on this table, and then let's light it up too. Do I have a flint and steel? Oh, and then inside the little room right here, this could also use a little bit of lighting, so maybe from the ceiling here we hang down. Okay, maybe not. I thought that would hang a little bit better from the chain up there, but maybe we just, oh, we don't really have a lot of a room in here to put a candle, huh? Well, maybe in that case, we just do the nice and classy candle holder right there. Maybe one more candle could be nice. Where did I put my candles at? And I think it'd be nice to add a little bit of leaf litter around just to show, like, there's some mud being tracked in or whatnot. How do I place this all properly? There we go. We can do some right here too. And maybe one right there. Ooh, yeah. Very nice. And this is all the leaf litter I own right here. This last two. I need to go maybe gather some. But that's the done of our interior for the log cabin here. I just quickly want to show you guys how epic that this mountain looks with all of the, with it being at nighttime and all the lighting and everything. Oh, look how pretty it is. And then up there with the log cabin, just a little light coming out from the inside a little bit, but mostly the chimney up there. Very, very clean. And apparently there's some light over here. What is this? A torch? A singular torch? Oh, two torches. There we go, a little bit of a cleaner look. But let's get started on the trail over here as well. Let me go drop off some of my materials though. It's been a long time coming, but I think this project is now considered fully complete. Now, I can't say our endeavors with terraforming are over, but I can say that I have definitely improved with my terraforming overall, and I think this is also a great example of the improvement in landscaping is what I'm calling it, because it's like a little bit more of the finer details inside of the terraforming and stuff. But I really love this little trail right here, and one of my favorite little details is the muddy little colder looking dirt right here. I think it works really well with like the really sheer cliffs right here, just a bunch of mud down here, like, you know, a bunch of runoff coming out from the sides of the cliff. Obviously it's raining right now, so it makes a lot of sense. Just using a lot of these darker blocks, getting a little crazy, using some gray terracotta, some soul soil, some mangrove wood, and even some podzol and some coarse dirt to kind of transition back out into the normal grass here, even using some leaf litter. Yes, that's what it's called. But I always like to throw in a little bit of color pop from the, you know, very dull looking grass, especially on the mountainside here. So I used a little bit of the nether sprouts right there, and kind of just along the side here, using also some acacia saplings, because these have an amazing color that works really well with the moss right here. Throw some string on top, of course, to make sure those guys don't grow up, and just using some azalea bushes to add a little bit of extra bush and a little bit more foliage to this little path here. But and it's not a lot, but it's honest work, and I think this thing is very beautiful. We need to do more of this landscaping around the general area of even just the mountainside here, but also just like the valley overall. There's so many little spots that just could use a lot of love, so we need to do that this year. That's one of my goals for this calendar year, is to just do some crazy, you know, terraforming and landscaping around the entirety of the valley. I just want this area to feel like super complete before I want to just up and leave and go somewhere else. Which has been a little bit of a problem for me recently, just creatively, you know, just trying to think of new ideas to do for this world, just areas to explore, new terrain to conquer and all that. All right, I really wish it would stop raining in this freaking game so I can like show you guys the beautiful view, but look how foggy it is. Isn't that cool? All right, dissolve. There we go. Isn't that a beautiful transition? Wow. And yes, if you're curious, I did sit there for 20 minutes. Oh, but can I say it? I absolutely love the entirety of this landscape right here, and I think it's only going to get better over time, especially when we terraform this mountain in the far future, which, I mean, might seem like a far future from now, but I've made a lot of progress in this world, and I was going through some of my old videos and stuff like that just to try to gather some inspiration, and I would like crank out some of these builds in weeks, in week spans. Isn't that crazy? Oh my god, bruh. I need to get back into that flow. But anyways, y'all, I think that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. If you're made it this far, make sure to get subscribed and all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.